In the quiet town of Brooksville lived a teenager named Liam. He wasn't the top student in class, but on the running track, he was unbeatable. Whenever he ran, it looked like the wind itself was carrying him forward. People used to say Liam was born to run. He dreamed of becoming a national-level athlete, representing his country one day. Every morning before sunrise, he would jog along the empty streets, his shoes hitting the ground in a steady rhythm, his heart full of hope. But as time passed, something began to change. Social media, parties, late-night gaming slowly replaced his early morning runs. He told himself, "I'm still fast. I can skip practice today." One day skipped became 2, then a week. By the time his coach called for district trials, Liam was completely out of shape. His coach, Mr. Reed, a retired sprinter, looked at him with disappointment. "Liam," he said, "you have the talent, but talent means nothing without consistency." He laughed it off. "Don't worry, Coach, I'll still win. I'm naturally fast." Mr. Reed said nothing, only sighed. On the day of the race, Liam stood at the starting line, confident as ever. When the whistle blew, he sprinted forward with all his energy, but halfway through, his legs burned, his lungs screamed, and his body refused to go faster. He watched as other runners passed him one by one. By the time he crossed the finish line, he was dead last. He collapsed on the ground, gasping as the cheers for the winners echoed in the stadium. For the first time, Liam felt something he had never felt before. Shame. Not because he's lost, but because he knew deep down he hadn't tried. After the race, he sat alone on the bleachers. Mr. Reed walked quietly and sat beside him. Without saying anything, he handed Liam a small stopwatch. "What's this for?" Liam asked. Mr. Reed said softly, "This was mine. I used it every day when I trained for the Nationals. Do you know what time teaches, Liam?" Liam shook his head. Mr. Reed smiled faintly. "It teaches that no second comes back. Every time you choose to waste a day, you're not losing time. You're losing progress." Liam stared at the stopwatch, watching the seconds tick. That night, he couldn't sleep. The sound of the ticking echoed in his mind. Tick, tick, tick. He realized that every second he had wasted scrolling on his phone or staying up late was a step backward from his dream. The next morning before sunrise, Liam laced up his shoes again. His body ached, his muscles would stiff, but he forced himself to run. At first, he couldn't even finish one lap without stopping, but every day he ran a little farther. He stopped using his phone after 9 p.m. He planned his meals, his sleep, and his training schedule. And every night before bed, he pressed the stopwatch once, looked at the day's time, and whispered, "Another day closer." Weeks turned into months. Slowly his speed returned, but this time it came with something new. Discipline. One afternoon, Coach Reed called him and said, "There's another regional competition coming up next month. Do you want to try again?" Liam didn't hesitate. "Yes, Coach. This time, I'll earn it." The day of the race arrived. As Liam stood on the starting line again, memories of his past failure flashed before his eyes. But this time, his heart was calm. He wasn't running to prove anything to others. He was running for himself. The whistle blew. He started strong, his feet hitting the track rhythmically, his breathing controlled. Halfway through, his legs burned, but he remembered Coach's words. No second comes back. He pushed harder, his eyes fixed on the finish line. With every step, he whispered, "Don't stop now." When he crossed the line, the crowd erupted in tears. He had come in first place. Tears welled up in his eyes as Coach Reed hugged him tightly. "I knew you had it in you," he said, smiling. "You just needed to remember why you started running." Liam held the stopwatch in his hand, pressed the button, and looked at the frozen time. "This," he said, "is not just a timer. It's a reminder that every second matters." From that day on, Liam was known not just for his speed, but for his discipline. He trained every single morning, rain or shine, and eventually his dream came through. He qualified for the National Youth Championship. When the reporters asked for his secret, he smiled and said, "Discipline beats motivation. Talent opens the door that only discipline keeps it open." That night, Liam placed the old stopwatch next to his medal. He whispered to himself, "I'll keep running, not to win, but to never stop moving forward." Moral: discipline is stronger than talent. Time doesn't stop for anyone, but if you respect it, it will reward you.